and welcome back. My name is Lexi Jong, and today I want to share with you a new makeup line. And as soon as I saw this makeup line, I knew I wanted to try it. I was very excited. Now, when you think of the no makeup look, who is the first makeup artist that comes to your mind? For me, it's always been Bobbi Brown. And we know that Bobbi Brown has had this makeup line, Bobbi Brown, for quite a long time now, pretty much as long as I can remember. And she sold it to, I believe, Estee Lauder, and she's kind of been hands off for several years now. And her non-compete clause has recently ended, and she started a new makeup line. And this is called Jones Road. And as soon as I saw that this was out, I wanted to try it, and I ordered basically one of everything to kind of test out the line. And there are some new products that will be launching later on in November. I believe around November 17th is the date that I was given. So let's first talk about Bobbi Brown's idea for this line. And we know that she is the queen of the no makeup look. And in this case, her philosophy is to not make more beauty products, but just to make better products that can be simple to use, easy to master, and are full of clean, good ingredients. So her philosophy is to use clean, strategic, high-grade formulations that work on every skin type and tone, and that are as simple to use as they are to master. That's taken directly from her website for Jones Road Beauty. Now, right now, they have a few items that you can purchase individually, and then there's also a starter set. The starter set retails for $68, and it comes in this bag. I do have an unboxing to show you. And then there were also a couple of items that weren't included in the starter set that I picked up. So just a note, the starter set includes some items that are already out, as well as some things that will not be released until November 17th. So there are no color choices or anything in the starter set. It's all basics. And let's go ahead and check out the unboxing, and then I'll come back to share some more product info with you. Now, this is how the starter set comes packaged. So I picked up the starter set, which has 4 items. Some of the items that are in the starter set are not yet available for purchase otherwise. So there's some of the items that are coming out mid-November. So this is actually a reusable bag. It looks like a brown paper bag, and it's got, it's got like a coating on it, so it's not gonna like rip. But we have 4 products in here. Now, one thing to note is this is all considered clean makeup. This here is going to be an eyeliner. This is made in the Czech Republic. And here we go. Let's take a look at this. So you do sharpen it. There it is. It feels like a regular eye pencil. It doesn't feel like super creamy or anything like that. It feels like a pencil, but it goes on nicely. Like, it didn't feel, just swatching it, it didn't feel like I had to tug at my skin or anything to get the color on, and it looks pretty black. Also in the starter set, we end up with one of the glosses. This is the Cool Gloss in Original, and it's just a clear gloss. So this one is made in the United States. It's 14 milliliters, and it's just, here, we'll just put it on. I think it's just a clear gloss. It has a peppermint scent to it. Feels very nice on the lips. She did mention that the peppermint was in there to kind of give an invigorating scent to it and, add a little bit of plumping. I wouldn't say it makes my lips tingle or anything. Maybe a little bit, but not like some of the other pumping glosses that I have tried in the past. Although I may have spoken too soon. I'm starting to feel a little bit of tingling now, but nothing major. So just a clear gloss. It's kind of a thin texture. It feels nice. I mean, it's a nice basic gloss. Then we have 2 eyeshadows. This is the Just a Sec eyeshadow, and this comes in Golden Peach. This one here is made in the US. And here it is. It's in a little jar. And this is going to be a like creamy powder shadow. Okay, so spread out, do you see that? It just gives like more of a golden, like a little bit of a golden shimmer. And I have to say the creamy texture of it is really nice. It's a cream powder type formula. It's very smooth. We'll have to play with this. And then we also have the Best eyeshadow. That's what it's called. And this one is dark brown. This one is also made in the United States. And this is our container. So I'm not sure what this is made out of. It feels like plastic, but I'm not sure if it is, you know, something that's a little bit more environmentally friendly. I have to double check on that because I want to say I read somewhere that that was going to be part of the focus, but it does feel like plastic. So we have a mirror here, and then this is the dark brown eyeshadow, and this is 4 grams. So it's pretty large. It's double the size of a Pat McGrath shadow. So here it is. Goes on smoothly. We'll have to see how it actually applies to the eyes. Nice, deep, dark chocolate brown. And it's like one of those deep cocoa shades. And you can see it's actually a cooler toned one. So the only thing I wonder is how it, you know, if it looks ashy on some of the deeper skin tones, because you can see when I kind of smear it out that you do have a bit of gray in the base there. So those were the items that came in the bag for the starter set. But there were a couple of other items that you could purchase individually that were not in there. So I picked up the Miracle Balm, and I have to say I didn't expect this to be so large. This is also made in the United States. And if you have followed Jones Road or Bobbi Brown at all on Instagram, she's been using this quite a bit in tutorials. So there are several different shades. I picked up Dusty Rose. This is 50 grams. And again, this is made in the United States. This is it. So 18 months shelf life. It is a balm texture and it's sheer. So let's put this right here. So this is for like anything, lips, eyes, cheeks, whatever. So she has a bunch of different colors and we'll have to see. I mean, it looks pretty clear. Don't really see much color. Let's build that up more. Yeah, no, it's really like you see like a tint of it, but it's pretty clear. Now this product is scented, but it's a natural scent. So it's not like additional scent added per se. It's ginger. So there are some essential oils in here, or well, just oils in general. It doesn't specifically say essential oil. And one of them is ginger. We've got grapefruit oil. There's orange peel oil, sea buckthorn fruit oil, rosemary leaf oil, a whole bunch of different oils in here. And, you know, just the scent of them together, it's, you know, it's like a fresh scent. And then the other thing I picked up is the mascara, which don't typically pick up mascaras from new lines, but I don't know, for some reason I decided to pick this one up. So this is made in the US. So everything's made in the US except for the lip gloss, I believe, which was the, nope, it was the eye pencil, the eyeliner that was made in the Czech Republic, I believe. Yes. So everything except the eyeliner is made in the US. So here is the mascara. This is heavy duty. So again, this is the same material as these containers. So it feels like plastic, but this is really heavy. Actually, it's very weighty. So we've got Jones Road here. Let's see what the brush looks like. So here is the brush. The starter set comes in this coated paper bag. It's reusable. It does have a snap closure here. It retails for $68 and you get 4 items in there. And one of the items that you can get is already available for purchase individually. And this is the Cool Gloss. This is 14 milliliters or 0.47 ounces and it's made in the United States. The color included in the set is original, which is clear, but there are 5 shades, including the original shade, that are available for purchase individually. They retail for $22. Now, all of these Jones Road items are currently available only in the United States. They do, well, they would like to be able to open that up internationally as well, but kind of need to see how things go first. So they're focusing on the United States before opening it up to other countries. So right now, unfortunately, these products are only available here in the States. Now, the Cool Gloss, it is supposed to plump and awaken with natural peppermint, and it's never tacky, sticky, or heavy. And it's also something that you can be used as a cheek highlight. So you can use it for one of those like balmy highlights. And I haven't done that because, you know, it's just not something that I personally love. Next up, we have the Jones Road Pencil. And this is called the Best Pencil. It has an approximate shelf life of 12 months. And this is the only item that's not made in the United States. This one is made in the Czech Republic. And the only shade available right now is black or noir. And you can see that it is going to be a pencil of a traditional variety. So you've got the wooden barrel, it sharpens very nicely, and it's like a true powder pencil. So I actually think it goes on very nicely. If you're familiar with the Gucci brow pencil, it kind of reminds me of this because this Gucci brow pencil is kind of like a pencil powder product. So when you apply it, it has more of a powdery finish to it. And so does this eye pencil from Jones Road. So they are kind of similar in texture. However, the Gucci one I think is a little bit more powdery than this. So this will still stay like in a sharp line and so forth if you wanted to. It's also easy to smudge out, and there's no tugging or pulling on my lids at this time. So you can see here's the Gucci and here is the Jones Road, and they both have kind of a similar finish to them. Also in the starter set, we end up with the Best Eyeshadow in dark brown. This is 4 grams or 0.14 ounces. This is made in the United States. Again, it has an approximate shelf life of 12 months, and this is the shade. So we do have a mirror here in the lid, and it is going to be a deep brown right here. And you can see that it's smooth. I mean, there's no patchiness or anything with the swatching. When I applied it, I have tested it out with fingers and with brushes at this time, and they both go on very smoothly, no issues whatsoever. And it's something that you can easily kind of smoke out for a smoky eye if you're interested as well. So it's a really nice eyeshadow. This eyeshadow is one of the items that I believe will be coming out in more colors on November 17th or around that date. Another item that you can only get in the set, and I believe there will be more colors in a few weeks. This is the Just a Sec eyeshadow, and this is going to be a cream eyeshadow, and this is the shade Golden Peach. It is 3 grams. Again, you have an approximate shelf life of 12 months, and it's made in the United States. And this is what it looks like. It's pretty sheer. So it's gonna have a nice creamy formula. It's really easy to get up. You can build it up to see more of the peach. You can also shear it out to use it more as a topper. There are gold flecks in here, really tiny, minuscule gold. So you can see the shimmer in here as well. Now I use the Just a Sec eyeshadow for eyeshadow. However, I think people with warmer or slightly deeper skin tones than I have would actually be able to use this as a highlight as well, because I mean, look at that. It's kind of like a peachy gold shade. I think it would be really beautiful as a highlight also. So those are the 4 items in the starter set. And again, that set retails for $68. I do not have pricing information on the items that are yet to come out. There are also 2 other products available, and that is the Miracle Balm, which comes in 4 shades. This retails for $38, and it says to wear it alone or use it to bronze, highlight, or tint the skin by mixing and matching the shades. And I have shade 3, Dusty Rose. There's also a clear one, there's a tawny one, there's a deeper one. So there are 4 shades total, and this product kind of took me by surprise. I think when I first saw it, first of all, I didn't realize it was going to be so big, but I was thinking more cream blush. So I went with this shade and I was just thinking cream blush, but it's really like a thin balm texture. And there are essential oils in here, or rather different oils that kind of give it one of those like healthier scents. I'm not really sure how to describe it, but you can smell the ginger in here. and that's probably the strongest smelling scent that I smell in here. It's not super strong, but when you do apply it, you smell it, and it's not added fragrance. It's there as part of the actual product. So it's a very thin balm. It provides a very light tint. So I don't even know if you can really see it. I'll blend out. So when I shear it out here, you can't really see it, and you can see where it's piled up just a touch there. So this balm was a surprising product to me, and we'll talk more about that when we get to my thoughts. And the last item that I picked up is the mascara. And I usually don't pick up new mascaras, but for some reason, I just really wanted to try a new mascara from Bobbi Brown. So I picked this up. This is $26. It's clean, cruelty-free, and conditioning for your lashes. And it's supposed to separate, lift, and volumize. Now, one other thing I'd like to mention about Jones Road Beauty is, as I mentioned, they are clean beauty, and they do have a list of things that they do not use in their products. For example, they don't use cyclic silicones, no polyethylene glycol, no parabens, and so forth. One of the things I really appreciate about their website is when you are looking at all of these ingredients that they are not including, you can actually click on the ingredients and they explain their thought process as to why those ingredients are not something that they use. And I really appreciate that, because a lot of clean beauty brands, they kind of come off with a little bit of fear mongering. They're like, oh, we don't use A, B, C, D, X, Y, Z, because these are all products that are bad for you. They're all going to cause cancer. And a lot of times, some of those ingredients, although, the studies that support those claims, they are done in laboratory settings, they're done without real world conditions, or they're done with really high concentrations, which is not what you're actually getting in those products. So because of that, you don't really always know, well, do I really have to be worried about having that product in all of my ingredients? Should I be checking the ingredients list? And that's one of the things I like about this website is whether you agree with their reasoning or not, they're at least sharing with you why they chose not to include it. And I think that's really important, to have that transparency about ingredients. I recorded my first impressions, my first use of these products, and then I also recorded my look for today. So we're gonna go through those, and then we're gonna meet back here and discuss my thoughts on these and how everything wore. So I didn't do a wear test where I kind of recorded updates, but I did make notes and kind of checked on things so we can see how things wear. So I'm gonna go ahead and try everything on right now. I'm gonna move you in closer so you can see everything up close. And basically on my skin, all I did was I added my primers. So that's the Surratt Perfectionist primer and the Hourglass Veil eye primer. And then I have a mix of the Kojen Do Moisture and Aqua foundations on my skin. I didn't set it with any powder or anything. And I used the Chantecaille Le Camouflage Stilo under my eyes. So that's everything I have on, and let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start off with the best eyeshadow in dark brown, and this is the Sonia G Mini Booster. And I'm not exactly sure what I want to do yet, but I want to see how this applies to the lid. And a shade this dark I typically use as a liner, so I just kind of want to, I'm gonna like apply it to the outer corner and brush it in and see how much I can kind of shade that out. And then we're going to go in with the cream shadow on top. Just going to add a little bit more here. And I want to get this into the crease a little bit, but I want it to be not too dark in the crease. Okay, I'm just going to add a little bit so the outer half of the eyelid has the powder. Again, I'm really not sure exactly what I'm doing, so just kind of leaving a little bit of a bare spot in the center, like kind of right in the middle here. So just kind of see how it goes. Taking the classic crease with no shadow, and I'm just gonna kind of buff this a little bit. I have to say the eyeshadow applies very smoothly. I've got a little bit of tackiness on my lid from the primer, and that caused a little resistance in some spots, but you know, it was really just the primer. It smooths out pretty nicely. So I just did the other side so far, and I have to say, you know, this shadow is pretty nice. I didn't get any fallout at all from this shadow. At least I don't see anything here. I have a few little flakes right here in the inner corner, but yeah, that's it. So I am definitely going to try this out without primer as well and see how it applies that way. But we'll do that tomorrow. Now we're going to go in with the Just a Sec eyeshadow, and this is the shade Golden Peach. This has a 12-month shelf life. I'm just going to use my finger for this, and we're going to go ahead and apply this all over the lid. I'm taking the Synergy Crease One, and this is Clean Brush. And I'm just gonna kind of clean this crease area a little bit. I wiped off the brush, and now I'm gonna take this and dab the tip of it into the Golden Peach and apply this with the brush in the inner corner, because with my fingers, I just can't do it. I'm going to take the eyeliner pencil and just line the upper lash line with this. So I don't really usually put things in the waterline, and honestly this pencil, since it's not one of the creamier textures, it kind of scares me because I'm klutzy enough to poke myself in the eye. But I have to say that this pencil, by the way, it's a 12-month expiration date for this. I am pleasantly surprised. The last time I used a traditional eye pencil like this that feels more of a dry material, it didn't go on well, and you know, there was like pulling and tugging on my eye, and the color didn't really lay down well. This went on very, very smoothly. So I am impressed so far, but I need to see how these wear because I'm just not used to this style. So far, you know, I like it. For the lower lash line, I'm taking the Crease One that I used before, and I'm gonna get the tiniest bit of the dark brown on the brush tip, and I'm just gonna put a little bit of this here in the outer corner, and then I'm just gonna brush that in. Now let's go ahead and test out the mascara. I actually think the eyeshadow turned out pretty well. I went a little heavy with the cream, but I like it anyway. So I used my Surratt eyelash curler, and now let's go ahead and test out the mascara. So what do you think between the two sides? So this is the mascara on the lashes. I have not gone in with my lash comb at all. So this is the type of separation you get. And this is just one coat. And again, just like you've seen with so many other mascara brands, they suggest if you want more of a curl to kind of hold it up while it dries. And I'm just gonna instead just run through this real quickly with my Tweezerman eyelash comb. And I have to say, it's really pretty separated. It doesn't really need anything on my right eye. On my left eye, I kind of messed up and got a little glob here. Love to know what you guys think of this mascara. I think there is a little bit of volume and lengthening on this, but still retains kind of a natural look. And I think if you go in with more coats, you can really kind of glam it up. So we'll try that another time, but I think I like it. Now let's go ahead and test out the Miracle Balm. And We're gonna start with fingers, and we're just gonna put this here. I'm not sure if I'm gonna like this product. I don't like things that don't dry down on my cheeks. And I thought this was gonna be more pigmented than it is. So we'll have to see if it dries down, but it doesn't feel like it will. This might be better for like lips or something for me. But for anybody who's looking for like a subtle glossy highlight, this works. I'm just gonna take the Refer 04 brush in here and just kind of see if that does anything. You know, even on the brush, you can barely see color. There's a little bit of color. So if you want color from this, I think going in with the brush is a better choice. We're gonna let this sit, let's see if it dries down, but I'm pretty sure just feeling the texture of this, it's not going to dry down. It really just feels more like, yeah, like a regular balm. So this is the color on my finger. You can see I've got a little bit of the dark brown eyeshadow swatch kind of stuck in the grooves, but we're gonna try this on the lips. It does give a hint of color to the lips. I'm gonna add a little bit more with a clean finger. I'm gonna do my eyebrows and then I will show you what this looks like from a distance. So this is the final look. And again, it's the no makeup kind of aesthetic, aside from my eyes, obviously. Now, I have to say the balm, it doesn't seem to dry down completely, but the part that I applied with the brush really kind of disperses enough that, you know, you feel a little moisture when you touch it, but it's not sticky. Where I used the finger and kind of patted it on, it's like in a higher concentration there, and it feels a little sticky to the touch, but my hair doesn't really stick to it. So, I mean, you can see that it moves off pretty easily. So, you know, it's not a sticky balm, but it's still gonna have, you know, a little bit of that texture to it. So it's kind of hard to explain. I'm not sure how many of you guys have bought some of those like beauty products at a health food store and so forth. It kind of reminds me of that, especially with the scent and so forth, but it's a nice texture. So I'll play around with this more and we'll be back for another look with this tomorrow. It's been hours since I applied all of the Jones Road makeup, and I just wanted to give you a quick update on the balm. And basically aside from here where I applied it more densely with my finger, on the cheek area, it's pretty much dried down. So it's not completely dried down, but you don't really feel any stickiness or, yeah, it's really not that noticeable anymore. So it dries down probably about somewhere between 85 and 90%, I'd say. And I think it does give a really nice sheen to the cheeks. So even though it didn't apply a ton of color, it looks very natural. I think it would have been a really great product to have around during the summer. Today we're going to start off with the eyeliner pencil, and I'm just going to line my upper lash line with this. I do not have primer on. On my face right now I have the Surratt Perfectionist primer and then the Givenchy Teint Couture City Balm. Next, I'm taking the Chantecaille eye blend brush into the Best Eyeshadow in dark brown, and I'm just getting this on the tip here, and I'm going to smudge this right at the lash line here on top of the pencil. Just kind of putting whatever's left here in this outer corner. Whatever is left on the brush after doing both eyes, I'm just going to run that along the lower lash line. I'm not looking for much pigment. Next, I'm gonna go into the Just a Sec eyeshadow in Golden Peach. And I'm going to apply this all over my lids. And I'm going to use a brush this time. I'm taking the Chantecaille shade in Sweet Brush for this. And this is going to be my final eye look for today. I'm going to add some mascara. Today I'm going to apply the mascara without curling my lashes first. And I'm just going to hold them up with my finger and see if it really does give an extra curl without using an eyelash curler. I think that actually curled a little bit on its own there. Let's just hold this and see. So here's with mascara, here's without. I do think there is an extra curl with that there. And let me go ahead and add the other eye. So both lashes are done, and let's go ahead and try adding some more to this side and see how much more. Really, I should have done this when it was still wet, but just see what we can do. So that's definitely going to amp it up. You can see it's a little clumpy though. I think that's mostly because I let it dry already. Okay, so I did both sides now. And again, I didn't use an eyelash curler. They both have multiple coats now. And you can see that using multiple coats really does amp up the look of the lashes. They almost look like fake lashes in a way. But this side here was just a little bit wet still. So the mascara, when I added more coats, it did go on nicer than it did on the original side, on my right side, where it was pretty much dry already. So would definitely recommend doing it while it is still wet. And I did run through the lashes with my eyelash comb afterwards. My right side here, you know, you could see those clumps as I was applying it. I didn't really get so much of the clumping issue on the left side, but just a touch. So there was a little bit, and I still wanted to run through it with my comb. But overall, I think the lashes actually look super long right now. You can see, you know, I actually hit my eye with the lashes. Now we're gonna go in with the Miracle Balm. And I was reading a little bit more about this, and you know, it's really meant to be just a tint, not necessarily blush. You can use it like anywhere. So we're gonna put some on the lips to see. I have to say that this is not like an emollient balm. So when you put it on the lips, you don't have like a super nice moisturizing feeling. I'm not saying that it feels dry or anything, but when you think of the word balm or like a lip balm or something, it's not that texture. It's very thin. So I think adding just a hint of color with this and then topping it with the Cool Gloss is what I'm going to do today. So here are the lips with the Balm and the Cool Gloss. And this is the Balm in Dusty Rose. Now for cheeks, I want to try something that's more like a buffing brush. This is the Rephr 17, and I'm using this instead of one of the Sonia G buffers because this is undyed goat hair and this is a creamy formula. So it's a little bit safer to use an undyed goat hair or synthetic brush with cream or liquid products. So I'm gonna go in here and add this to my cheeks. And I have to say, this balm impressed me yesterday. I was pretty sure I wasn't gonna like it when I was applying it. It felt, you know, I'm not really one who wears like balms on my face, like those highlighting balms and everything. I never found one that I like. They always end up, you know, getting my hair stuck in them or something. You can see that just gave like a slight tint to the cheek. And it does have, you know, a little bit of shine. But I have to say that this balm, it really did, you know, I wouldn't say it dried down completely, but it dried down enough that, you know, it's not really something noticeable and, you know, like to touch. My hair never got stuck in it at all, even though, you know, it was super windy outside. When I went outside, my hair was blowing all around. It didn't actually stick to my face. Where I applied it with my finger, I could always feel that throughout the day, if I went to touch it. But the rest of it, it really dried down enough that it just felt more like moisturizer instead of like a balm. It was definitely not sticky. And I was really, really impressed. I have to say, for longevity of the balm, it really did last a bit longer than I thought. I'll cover that in my thoughts. So let's go ahead and I'll back you guys out and we will discuss my thoughts on these products. As I'm sure you noticed, the Miracle Balm was probably my most surprising product here. I really thought it was going to just kind of stay dewy on my cheeks the whole time and it would just be annoying. My hair would get stuck in it. And that really didn't happen. I applied this and within an hour, it really kind of dries down if you go in lightly. Now, if you're piling on product, it's going to stay dewy. And wherever I use my fingers, it stayed dewy. Today I used the brush and I used the Refer 17 brush, which is kind of like a mini buffing brush. And that applied the product a little bit more heavily. So I did get more of the tint, but it also means that I do have a little dewiness that remains on my cheeks. And it's nothing major. And I haven't had any issues with my hair getting stuck in it or anything either. So I have to say I am impressed with the Balm product. Now, whether it's something I'm actually going to use a lot of, that remains to be seen because it really doesn't have a lot of pigment. So I don't know, I was just kind of hoping more for a little bit more pigment in there so that it acted more as a blush. And I do get a little tint. It's definitely a no makeup kind of look. And I have worn this with and without foundation underneath. So I tested it out. I didn't wear it a whole day without foundation, but I did test it out that way to see. It's great for that. So especially during the summer, I think this whole line is so great for that. If you don't feel like putting on makeup, you put on your sunscreen and then you just add on a few products and it's natural with just a little bit of something. But for me, I would prefer this to have more pigment, but I like it. So I want to play with this more this month. I'm going to be experimenting with this product and using powder blushes and so forth with this as well, and just kind of seeing how those kind of work together. Kind of the idea behind the Patrick Ta duo with the cream and the powder. I want to see how this kind of works with some other blushes to see if that kind of gives some sort of effect, because you do have a slight tint here, but it's nothing major. It does work very nicely to give like a kind of a light highlight. You can see how the light hits the sheen on my cheeks. So it's a really nice product and I do really like it. Now, it's a huge product. This is 50 grams or 1.75 ounces. And I think I forgot to mention this earlier, but this one does have an 18-month shelf life. So you do have extra time to use it, but honestly, I don't know how I would use so much of this. One of the things that Bobbi Brown recommends with this is actually all over the face. So it's something that you can use the different shades. You can mix it to kind of give you an all over glow. I don't foresee myself using this like that. So I like the product. I wish it was a little bit smaller and I wish it had a little bit more pigment, but I'm very intrigued by this and I'm looking forward to playing with this more throughout the month. I think it could be something I end up really liking. So right now it's a maybe. Let's discuss the mascara. So the mascara is supposed to separate, lift, and volumize your lashes. And it kind of does all of those things. I have to say, I really liked it with my first application. I like using this, I think, just with one coat. Today, where I kind of piled it on, for me, it gets a little bit too clumpy. And you could see that the product was actually clumping a little bit upon application. Part of that was because I let it dry, but I think part of it is also just the actual formula. However, I think it all looked nice, and honestly, these lashes kind of look like false lashes to me. So I think I really like the mascara, but for a true opinion on a mascara, I feel like it has to be used for several weeks to really say, because once that product has been opened and starts to dry a little bit, sometimes the formulas change. So for the moment, I am enjoying the mascara, but I will definitely have an update for you on this later. But I'm actually very pleasantly surprised with it. I kind of thought it would just be like a regular mascara and I just kind of wouldn't really notice much, but I kind of really like it. Onto the cool gloss. In the starter kit, you can only get the original gloss, but there were a few shades that I was interested in trying. So when I order more items from the next launch, I'll probably pick up another shade to test that out. The formula on this is nice. It's thin, it's not sticky, it's not tacky, but it feels moisturizing. You do have peppermint. When I put the balm on first and then put the gloss on, or if I have like a lip pencil on and then put the balm on, I don't notice as much tingling as when I go in straight with this. That makes perfect sense to me because the peppermint then is not completely directly in contact with my lips. I didn't really notice any sort of plumping effect, but it's a nice lip gloss. It doesn't last super long. I would say anywhere between 1 and 2 hours, honestly, before I have to reapply. So it's not going to be a super long wearing gloss, but that's not its intent either. So it's a nice product and I like it, but I kind of want to see how the colors go. For the eyeliner, I really like this eyeliner. I haven't used traditional eye pencils in quite a while, and the ones I usually use are going to be more of a creamy texture. But this is actually really nice to get a nice sharp line. A lot of the creamier ones, you can't get to as sharp of a point. And after using this twice, you can see how sharp this point still is. So I really like this for definition. And the formula, how it kind of has a little bit of that powdery feel to it, it's really easy to smudge out and it just goes really nicely in your lash line. So if you want to like tight line in your lash line, this is a great pencil for that. And yeah, so I really like the eyeliner pencil. I'm curious to see if they're having more colors with this or what. On to the eyeshadows. The best eyeshadow in dark brown. This is the powder one. I really like this one. And again, it's just a really nice formula. This is a matte shadow, but I didn't experience any patchiness either with or without the primer. It worked well. It stayed all day. No issues whatsoever. So I did test this out, kind of all over my lid. I didn't film that. It was just a test. And I just wanted to see whether or not this would cause any creasing or anything. I didn't have any creasing with this product. So I think it's nice. It's definitely too dark for me to wear all over my lid unless I kind of smoke it out. But it is great for making a smoky eyeshadow look because it does kind of blend out so nicely. So I'm definitely interested in picking up more shades of this when those are released. The cream eyeshadow, the Just a Sec eyeshadow, this is the Golden Peach shade, and I think it's a great cream shadow. So it's more of a topper effect. I really like how it pairs with the dark brown eyeshadow. As for creasing, with and without the primer, you're going to get a tiny bit of creasing, but it never became a true crease. So when it's starting to crease and you get that line right in your crease, but you can still see the shadow underneath. Like it's not to the point where you're down to bare skin in the crease. That's what you get. I got that around between 5 and 6 hours with wearing the primer, and it stayed that way. So I had the makeup on for over 12 hours and it never progressed past that point, but I did have that line and it wasn't noticeable if you are standing, across from me speaking, but if you got up close, you could see it. Now keep in mind, this is a light shade, so a darker shade, maybe it is going to be a little bit more noticeable, but with this particular shade, it's not noticeable from, a normal distance. I'm going to give you a few wear updates on all of these items. Let's start with the Miracle Balm. This really does last for a full 8-hour day. And it does fade. I noticed fading between 6 and 7 hours with this, but it was still present and it still remained present after 12 hours. So I could see the tint on my cheeks from the finger application and from the brush application. So it was something that I could still see, but it did fade. It got lighter. And this is such a light product anyway. You really have to look in good lighting to kind of check for those things. So just a note, it is light, but it does stick around and I could still feel it on my cheeks. Again, it's not like tacky or sticky, which is really kind of interesting. The mascara, it lasted all day without any flaking or crumbling, no issues. When I got some of this on my face, I tried letting it dry and then removing it. I also tried removing it while it was still wet, and both ways worked fine for me. It actually didn't smear as much as I expected it to. Usually when your mascara is still wet and you get somewhere on your face and you go to remove it, it kind of smears. That didn't happen. It was still, I guess, wet enough that it cleaned up very easily. The eye pencil and the eyeshadows, I kind of covered those already, but they both held up really well, no issues. I didn't end up with raccoon eyes from any of these products. And, you know, aside from the line in the crease that didn't go all the way through to the skin, you know, that was it. Everything wore very well, and it stayed pretty much the same look as it had upon application. You know, sometimes these things start looking a little old and not fresh. That didn't really happen. They kind of stayed true to how they looked in the beginning. So I was happy with that. And I also covered the gloss. You know, I'd say you have between 1 and 2 hours of wear before you want to reapply with this. And it's a thinner gloss anyway. It's not sticky, but you know, it does kind of dry out quickly. And it feels moisturizing on your lips, so it's not an issue. It's not going to be like moisturizing like a heavy duty lip balm or anything like that. So I wouldn't go into this to repair dry lips during the winter, but it is going to give you a nice touch of moisture and be comfortable on your lips throughout the day as long as you keep reapplying. Overall, I'm really happy with this new line from Bobbi Brown. I'm very excited to see what else she has coming out. And I'm very happy to see this no makeup look kind of making a little bit of a comeback, hopefully. So I personally really like that look. It's something that I enjoy wearing quite a bit at the time. It's easy, it's quick, and it just makes you feel a little bit more put together than you would without anything. At least that's how it works for me. So I am very excited by this line, and I wouldn't say that any of these products are a fail. They were all things that I really enjoy or I want to really try more with. The only thing that I'm really still kind of making up my mind about would be the Balm. And of course I need to test the mascara a little bit longer, but I'm happy with all of them. I would definitely repurchase all of them at this time, but I will give you an update after I've worn these things more later on in this month. So I'm definitely excited to see what else is coming out, and I plan on picking up some more items from her new releases. And I would love to know what your thoughts are on this line. So is this something you're interested in, or is it, you know, just not really your aesthetic? And what do you think? Are you planning on picking anything up? So please let me know down below in the comments. And I hope to see you next time. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please make sure you do. And I will see you soon. Have a great day.